What's up, Fight Family? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin. Where the World Fight start. Round one. We have an amazing show for you here today. Listen, we have a lot to talk about. We're going to be breaking down this fight card. I never really got to give you my assessment about all the fights that took place and what took place. So we're going to be talking about all this. So if you like the channel, you like the content, and you like the conversation, please don't forget to hit that like button. And I'm inviting you to the Round One Sports Talk family. So come join us, and we can sit here and talk boxing with an unbiased point of view. So, like always, let's get right into this episode. Listen, yo, you see the ring girls? Yo, listen, but I got a cool wife, so I shared the pictures with her, and me with the two girls coming out of the thing, they're throwing trying to get $10 for a picture with you. They're like, yo, and then they inform you it's $10, right? So, it's just a part of my experiences and stuff, and you know, I took a picture with the top ranked ring girls, you know what I mean? But wife's cool with it. Of course, she judged them all. Oh, she's scared. Blah, 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 you know what I mean? But she laughed. What's up, everybody? What's up, chat family? What's up, Frontline Carlos? Um, 7-0 on the MVP card tomorrow, Frontline. Yeah. What's good, Carlos? How you doing? Yeah. My man's funny. Oh, my girl right here, she's funny. Hannah. Uh, I gotta look her up. I gotta look her up. I'm gonna check her out and see what she's doing. Because there's a lot of good female boxers coming up right now, and Sebastian Fedora's kid sister, Gabriela Fedora, she's something else. She's stopping all these girls, taking all the belts. Uh, there's a possibility when it's all said and done, she might turn out to be one of those type women in the conversation for best female fighter of all time. So let me turn that down right there. All right. So like I don't know. I don't know. Like I like a lot of and of course there's always my favorite Amanda Serrano, so things like that. But let's talk about these fight cards that kicked off, and I really wanted to give my insight on the cards because I've been hearing a lot of different kind of feedback. Today I was on the Boxing Voice earlier today, and Robert Garcia pulled up. It was a great interview with Robert Garcia. It was really good to finally get to meet him and talk to him. He trains a lot of fighters, a lot of world champions, and one of his world champions in mind is Bam Bam Rodriguez. And he talked to us about Bam Bam Rodriguez's interest on moving up to 118. He was very boisterous about Bam Rodriguez trying to get a unification at 115. But if he can't get all the belts or the guys to fight him, because he's going to fight Kofu right now, and that's going to be a unification. So now Bam's going to move up from there. Now, if you enter the 118, in order to be probably a champion by that time, you just might have to see Junto Nakatoni, which would probably be the more lucrative fight for Bam Rodriguez as far as star status. Junto's right there. Why would you fight the other Japanese guys that are not as known? Good fighters, yes. Great fighters. They're champions. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying that, come on, guys. You guys wouldn't want to see a fight between Bam Bam Rodriguez and Junto Nakatoni? Come on, man. That's a fucking clash of the titans there down there in those lower weight divisions. So whatever man wins, I would think, this is how I'm thinking, between Bam and Junto would obviously fight Naoya Inoue. I don't think Naoya Inoue is going anywhere from 122. His plans are already set. September, MJ. So he's definitely fighting at 122. So there's time. There's time to get that fight. You know what I mean? So that's going to be interesting time. So we're going to get right back to Naoya Inoue and some of his possibilities. I got a few things I want to share with you guys on him. But before we get to Inoue, I want to talk about this Ryan Garcia situation with Rolly, right? There were a lot of things. Ryan Garcia was photographed in the ambulance crying after the fight. Rolly really being a real man, going on an interview and admitting, so what? I cried too in the ambulance and I won the fight. Rolly said, I cried too because of the fact that he couldn't believe he did it. He proved all the naysayers, all the doubters wrong, saying, Rolly, you lose this fight, your career is done. Well, guess where Rolly's career just went? Right? Back to the fucking spotlight. And Rolly was in his own ambulance, shedding his own tears. Ryan's tears might have been tears of defeat, but a learning curve altogether. Both men laced it up, went inside of that ring, and gave it their all. Rolly had a better game plan. He had a better night at the office. Ryan Garcia, for the most part, Ryan looked good. Ryan looked, and he was throwing the combinations. It was just truly, in what I believe, Rolly had a better game plan. That's all. And he actually looked better. Yeah, you could see that Rolly. You see, and these are the things I talk about. Next time you see your fighter, you should see a better version of that fighter. When you don't, will you quickly realize, this motherfucker was slacking in training. You know what I mean? You want to make excuses for him if you want to, if that's your fighter. But Rolly came into this fight, and a lot of people said that the fights from the Ryan Garcia card to the Canelo Alvarez card were all lackluster performance. And a lot of boxers took to social media to criticize all these boxers. And I was on the forum. I was like, wait a minute. Weren't you guys entertained? Didn't you see one of the biggest upsets of the year? So you're going to completely ignore Rondo Rolly Ramirez's performance. When it's all said and done at the end of this year, that just might be a candidate for upset of the year. Tell me what Rolly came in on the odds coming into that fight with Ryan Garcia. Listen, this was a bombito pal pitcher, right? A little pop to the pitcher, like, you know what I'm saying? Ryan was supposed to hit a home run. That's what was supposed to take place. Rolly was the sacrificial lamb in this situation. Except that was a tough-ass lamb. That motherfucker picked up the gun. He's like, oh, shit, right? Yo. Rolly believed in himself. He believed that he could beat Ryan. He trained hard. It was evident in his performance. His cardio stood up, his discipline. And with just the basic fundamentals, he was able, and one time catch and shoot, he was able to beat Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia threw that left check hook. Rolly blocked that shit and threw his own left check hook. Actually, two. The second one, Ryan blocked. He goes down. And I felt like uh the rest of the fight, Rolly was once Rolly knocked down Ryan Garcia, his confidence was through the roof. The thing is that he had to stay the course. And I commend Rolly for that. Although a lot of people are talking about fighting styles and now they're starting to rate them as fighters. Like, oh, what do you rate Ryan 1 to 10 throughout the best fighters right now active? And I don't think we should do that. Are the fighters right now rating Conor Bren and Chris Eubank on the same ranking system? Are you? Because you're sure obviously doing that to Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and Devin Haney. And you're judging Ryan Garcia and you're saying to yourself, well, Ryan Garcia is not a skilled boxer. And Rolly Romero is not a real skilled boxer. He's basic. And notice the guys that are saying this, they're not champions. Most of them. And they never won a belt. But Rolly did. Shit, he won 3 times. So, according to them, they're so much better than Rolly. But look at Rolly's success. Just concentrate on winning your fight. Styles make fights. All these fighters are different type styles and they come from all walks of life. So I'm not really sitting here underestimating Rolly's style because now the conversation starts to come in. They want Rolly versus Devin Haney. And everybody's like, oh, Devin Haney will wipe him down. I'm like, wait a minute. Did you guys just see Devin Haney's last fight? I mean, were you guys watching? Bro, Devin Haney looked like a deer in the headlights at times. At times, he looked like he was wheeling himself back. He looks like he was going through something in the ring as well. But at the same time, he did have a game plan. Devin Haney was trained well in this fight. It looks like his game plan was not to throw the left check. I mean the jab, but to throw the check hook and to sit on the back foot and allow Ramirez to come in. So it looked like he was staying the course. So it might have gave the impression that he was more reluctant to exchange with Ramirez, right? But you gotta know when to make adjustments in a fight. And you gotta know when to apply the pressure, the right amount. And that has to speak to your confidence as a fighter. Devin Haney's confidence wasn't there in the fight. What I saw was his training. That's all I saw. I saw a man that was trained for game planning and he executed it. But I didn't see a confidence fighter. I didn't see the type of fighter that will take initiative in the fight and take over the fight. That I did not see. You know, Devin had to understand that he was well trained. He had to believe in his training and step on the gas a little and really show dominance in the fight. Coming into the fight, I thought that Devin Haney's mental was in question, but I talked to a lot of people and they said, well, you know, we don't really feel that he took a massive ass whooping in that Ryan Garcia, and throughout his career, he was very terribly unscathed. So, you know, they didn't feel like it would be that, but the fight told a different story. And although, you know, some of us could be wrong about Devin and he might have just been being cautious, Devin, you're not going to fight the criticism like that. In order to win the hearts and the minds of the fighting fans, you're going to have to bring them blood. You're in a blood sport in which we award violence and aggression. That's what we pay our money for. That's what we want to see. And a lot of people are like myself. I do enjoy the sweet science. Yes, I do. I'm a sweet science guy. But I got to admit, not you can do sweet science in the gym. I mean, I'm sorry, in the ring, right? But also deliver violence. You understand? And this is a sport where, you know, I can't say that the knockout, we need to expect the knockout every time we see a fucking boxing match. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying sometimes you're going to have to fight. Sometimes you're going to have to box your way out of situations. Sometimes you're going to have to brawl. Sometimes you're going to have to use speed. But when you have control and the guy in front of you can't catch up to you, and it's apparent. Jose, he could not cut off the ring on Devin Haney. That was apparent. So Devin needed to catch on to that. He already knew, okay, if I go in the fire, just in case I get in trouble, I could always rely on my feet because I'm that much faster than him. I have something to go to if I'm hurt, right? So that's what I speak of. When you can clearly see as a fighter, you're in the ring with the guy. This guy is barely touching me. He's not that fast. He can't catch up to me. So let me use some of my speed and some of my combinations and really start to bust this guy up. Devin needed to take initiative, and he didn't. He didn't. That's what a lot of us were like. And I thought he was going to have that Tim Tszyu moment, like when Tim Tszyu started hitting the dude, and then he turned into Tim Tszyu. I thought Devin was going to, I was so convinced. I was like, come on, Devin. He's young. He's young. I thought he could bounce back, like, and I was really like cheering for him. But because I like to cheer for every single fighter. Some fighters for different reasons and and I understand the significance of Devin Haney right now in the sport. His name is still a pretty decent name in its own right. He's highly decorated and accomplished in the sport. And I know that his name and what he brings to the table is still good today as it was yesterday. There's no need to try to throw away or say, oh, Devin never needs to fight again. Like, what? What are you, fucking crazy? That kid is 75% better than all the boxers in boxing. He's still better, 75, at least 75% better than all the boxers. And how the fuck are you gonna say he's not like shit right now? Nonito Donaire is ranked like freaking number 12 and some, I think at 118 somewhere. Like, Nonito Donaire is still better than 45% of that division at that age. Still. So to say that, oh, Devin's done, he shouldn't box, that's ridiculous. That's fucking just ridiculous. Devin could be champion again, easy. He just, it can go two ways. It can go inward, or he can build off of it. That's up to Devin. How he responds, I'm wishful thinking. But I'm not saying I would give up on him like that shit. You know what I mean, guys? Like that'd be too much. What's up, Mexico? Boxing number one. What happened with Two Tone and that whole deal? Phone calls were made, and I got a couple phone calls, and things were like talked about, and you know, uh, I'm more of a loyalty guy, and I see my eye on the prize. Uh, I'm not a wind up doll for nobody for any stretch of the imagination, and I'm not like gonna be his entertainment. Uh, I went on social media and I said some things, right? And before that, prior to that, the day before, you guys heard him. He said some shit about me on his platform, and the real like, and I'm just like sitting back, like this dude is mad as hell because we went and hung out. I was like, well, you mad? You mad because you wasn't there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like he was real salty. He Tuto never closed the thing, but for round one, he closed it. Like he just sounded like a heartbroken chick, you know. And the only reason why I said something personally between me and you guys on my channel and shit is because he mentioned my wife. That's it. When he had like my wife at the butt of his joke, saying, "Oh, when you're watching the movie type shit," I kind of lost it. So like then like like being professional in this, and understanding that in this game, like people don't like the new guy type shit, and then fighting with yourself, you know, in a microphone, trying to prove to the world of what you've done before in your life. It feels kind of ridiculous, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like I'm a grown ass man. I done did some shit, seen some shit. Now over a microphone, I gotta act it out in order to show aggression, to show how tough I am over him. He's not worth it. He's not worth my time. Nah, brother, I done dealt with situations way tougher than this. You know what I'm saying? I wake up and I confront my problems. I don't run from them, then it doesn't become an inconvenience for me, you know? But uh there's other ways of going about this. And I'm just gonna say that I haven't spoke to him personally. It's all been third party type shit. And I saw him live today. I went on this morning by choice. I didn't go on right now. I didn't even ask. I saw him there and I said, you know what? I had the morning episode. Let's see how many views he gets on his live and how they do. I just chose to step back on my own accord. Just, I mean, I could pop on right now, turn this motherfucker off and hop on, but for what? To be these people's puppets? I don't think so. You know what I mean? And like, oh, bro, like sometimes it's just not uh it's a boxing show, bro. This ain't Jerry Springer type shit. And I was asked to chill out, and I was like, all right, but I ain't taking down my video. I'm not taking it down. Let that shit marinate for about 35 years, and then I'll think about it. But other than that, you know, I mean, we'll probably be on tomorrow. We'll talk and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? As long as you don't say nothing slick to me, I won't say nothing slick to him. I really don't got nothing wrong with the man and shit. Tone. You know what I mean, like, uh, but it did question whether or not I was being a little too nice and shit. But you know what I mean? Like my mom always told me, if you're in somebody else's town or you're in somebody else's city, act like you got sense. You know what I mean? And don't reveal too much of yourself. It's good to play possum sometimes. You feel me in life? It's good not to always show who you are. And then when they see that monster come out of you, they get all shocked and shit, right? Oh my god, I never knew you were like that. And you start smacking shit about everybody in the office. Right? And Jim, I didn't know you were like that. And Jim's just smacking everyone. You know what I mean? Right? You know, it's that thing that brings that out of people, you know, that monster inside of us that we some you know, or uh, I try to keep them at bay, you know. You have to remember that, you know, whether you walk out your house or I'm on this screen, uh, I truly represent my family name. Like, you know, have some sense, Edwin. You know what I mean? But that's all. Yeah, 35 years later, Carlos, I'll think about like taking it down. About that. Yeah, I know. I see him. You better put your money on round one because that fight's gonna end in round one, bro. That's yo. That's how that shit will end. It'll be like that's it, done deal, son. Shit. But nah, I'm not gonna sit here and talk shit. I was tight. I was tight because he mentioned my wife. That's it. Like I've been talk shit on and shit like that and shit like that. It's much different if you're standing in front of me. Yes, I know. Yeah, that's much different. Uh cuz you might get a different reaction from me. But other than that, bro, like yeah, I mean, I might pop up at that Border Wars though. I'm really thinking about it. August 2nd, not to fight or anything. Yes, I am. I want to fight. But you know what I mean? I'm just gonna go there and commentate and shit. I'm just gonna be dressed in fucking shorts with my cup on and a headgear and boxing gloves, just in case they say they don't have somebody might have a late replacement they need or something. You know, I might be happy to oblige. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not saying to my wife that I'm going out there and scheduling a fight. No, I'm not fighting nobody. All right. All right. But if I'm gonna commentate, I need to be commentating the fights in boxing shoes with a mouth guard in my mouth. You never know what's gonna happen outside the ring. You're just right. I'm not fighting nobody, baby. All right. Shit. Ah. Then she says I don't need you, but never wants to see anything happen to me. Ah. Nah, he can't fight, brother. That dude can't fight. He's just big, bro. He's just big. You know, he's what I consider a 1-2 punch fighter. A bar street fighter. They're 1-2 punch. They throw the one and the two, and then they're lost. They don't know what to do after that. Salute, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. He's gonna think because of his size and brute force that all he has to do is land on me like a fighter, a guy my size, right? And typically, the way I knock out big dudes like that is the 1-2. That's the concept I'm always thinking of. Those big dudes, they just come with that 1-2, and then when they come like that, that's typically where I knock them out. Um, a good 65% of big dudes I've knocked out was right in that moment. I have fought bigger, smarter bigger dudes that were smarter. Um, uh, it depends on his skill, right? Because if I fight a fucking big dude that's real skilled, I might not fight him. Fuck it, I'm just might kick out his kneecap, snap his kneecap back in the Adam's apple real quick. You know what I'm saying? Might get a knee to the groin right there real quick and an elbow to the temple. And I might have to snap his arm back up, you know what I mean? And draw his head into my knee, take him down, ground and pound, smash his head against the concrete, because he's a big skilled guy. If I make a read real fast and I see that he's the way he's, you know what I mean? And I go in, right? And then he moves with me, I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to take his leg out. There's no more boxing with a guy that dangerous. I'm not gonna box a guy that dangerous. Hell fucking no. That's just stupid. But big dudes that are like tone like that, like I'm not gonna say I knocked out every big dude I ever fought because I done hit some big dudes that looked at me. I hit him, pow, all right, and I was like, oh shit. I looked at him, I was like, oh my bad, mama. You had something on your face. It was just wanted to get that off. Yeah, yep, nah. Who hit you? That guy? He must have, yo, listen, right? This is one of those situations. No, real talk. I hit some dudes, man, and they just, I was like, fuck, and I was looked around the crew, the dudes I was with, jump 'em. Get in here, right? Right? Because I like, yeah, I hit some big fucking dudes, some bouncers and shit, big bouncers. And I've been in a lot of fucking bar fights, club fights, a lot, like a lot, like a lot. And in my experience and shit, just straight up beef and just knuckle fight, beefing and shit. Uh Most guys are not training out on the street, just running around. A good body shot will end 95% of all those dudes. A good body shot. um, Except fat dudes. Dudes with like big guts. They can take body shots, bro. I've hit dudes with big body shot gut dudes. And I had to go upstairs, and to like put them down and shit. But yeah, like, nah, bro. Me and Two Tone and fighting skills on real talk, like being honest, we're on two different levels. Like I think I could beat him in a real fight on a street, and I think I could beat him in a boxing match. Yes, yes, absolutely. I'll smart him. I've been in way too many fights, bro. I don't think and I'm not trying to sit here and talk like a tough guy, but I gotta be honest. If I'm gonna tell you the story with it, I'm gonna tell you the story how it is. I've been in a lot of fights, bro. A lot. Like, uh, uh, I don't know. Yeah, let me take these off. I'll show you. Like, my hands are healing over the years. Like I don't know if you guys can see it, but it just that's a that's a tooth. That's a tooth. That one right there is a tooth. These two lines right there, those I don't know if you can see them. They go straight down. They're two scars on my finger. Those are teeth. I had surgery on this hand right here that a tooth actually went into my knuckle. I knocked out I knocked out four of his teeth and I cracked two. I got six teeth with one punch. Between me and my brother, I knocked out the most teeth out of a dude's mouth. He's got the most knockouts. I think his knockouts are better. My brother's, being honest, like his knockouts, he's just a bigger puncher than I ever was. Uh, yeah, I think my punches hurt people more though. He might knock you out, my brother, but I think I open a lot of dudes' eyes, their nose. I've shattered cheekbones. Rip lips. The where the lip is ripped down like that. You can see it. I've done that. Um, uh, yeah, I've been in a lot of bad fights. Yes, I have. Yeah, I have. Um, and just my fighting experience, but I don't come up here like, yo, I did this, I did that, you know what I'm saying? I'm just a humble dude. Like, I'm just a man that's been through some shit and I don't want to go through no more shit. I've seen evil, I've seen a little bit of war, and I'm okay with it. I'm I no longer want to be a tough guy. You know what I'm saying? I no longer like I look into my daughter's eyes and I don't want to leave her. So I no longer want to be, but like my wife tells me at times, you know what I'm saying? There's moments she makes fun of me and well, it's not making fun of me or anything, but we'll be out in a situation that happen and she'll quickly see. She'll be like, "You turned into Edwin today." You know what I mean? She knows that if I have to, I'll snap out of this act that I'm putting on. This have some sense, talk like sense, good presentation, good be a good person. But if I had to jump out of this act, the real Edwin will show up. You know what I mean? So like that, but I don't care to ever get into another. No, that's I want to fight again. I want to fight again. But in a ancient ring. You know what I mean? I just don't want to have street fights. You know, but I want to fight again. Yes. Uh, my wife doesn't want me to fight no more. Um, but you know what I'm saying? I just love fighting, and I love uh styles of fights. The Naoya Inoue fight was one fight for the ages. It really taught me something. You know what I mean? Let me read y'all messages. What y'all talking about, babe? You taking care? Yo, Armando, frontline, babe. Where you guys at? What are you guys doing? Babe's not even here. It's only frontline. Frontline chopping up in El Espanol with Eddie here. You know what I mean? I can't even see his name. Is that what his name says? Yeah, Eddie. What's up? Salute, brother. What? What do you say? I think Two Tone is intimidated by Raul. How can he be intimidated by me? But if he went and talked shit about me, right? You know what I mean? I used to, my brother, my brother, he's when he was in his glory, I would say, right? In his like 20s, late 20s and shit. When he would walk into a room, he was a real intimidating. His appearance, the way he talked, the way he snapped at real little things, and everybody in the neighborhood knew that. Like you could say something like, like, well, if you get slick with him one time, he's bouncing your head off the fucking table. I'm telling you. And you know, I was asked that one time. So I walk into these places. They think I'm him. I'm not my brother, right? And I started talking, and the lady says, "You come off real intimidating, right?" And I looked at her, and I said, "Am I intimidating, or are you easily intimidated? Huh? Huh?" Yeah, right? So I fucked her up with that one. Right? But yeah, man. You know, boxing is an art. The sweet science that two of us can go in the ring and man to man, mano a mano, standing on our feet. Don't kick me. Don't drag me down to the ground. The art of, you might think that the concept of boxing could be simple. You only got two hands. How much could you do with two hands and two legs? That doesn't kick. All you can do with your legs is move. To the men and women that are real creative to pull off the dance the way they do, the special ones, I'm intrigued by great fighters. I've always asked myself, how'd you do that? And what did you do to build that shot? Was it a punch in the moment? Was it something you set up? Was it something that I'm going to look back later and say, aha, this is what he was doing? The sweet science is an art of boxing where that you out skill, outperform, and out punch your opponent. The slick style of the American boxing style is a very great style. It's the most dominating style in all of boxing for years. Now we're entering a new era in boxing where a lot of countries, a lot of these small uh, third world countries are really starting to get the support they need for boxing. Men like Terrence Crawford ventured out to Africa to build like boxing institutes, and a lot of Puerto Rican head coaches went to Santo Domingo, started training with a lot of Dominican fighters, and really bringing along a lot of their fighters. Mexican boxers have always been here with us, and there has been some countries that have been able to compete with the U.S. But if we were looking by achievements and belts, I don't think any of these countries would ever catch the US. The nearest countries, like they're like minus 400 belts. So I don't think they're going to catch us, right? The hottest country right now is Japan, clearly. Right now Japan is like the best country right now for belts. I would like to see that Ukraine still holds the heavyweight championship. Ukraine still has another champion, Vasily Lomachenko, and other fighters. Mexico has their Saul Canelo Alvarez and their Espinosas and etc. for champions for them. Bam Bam Rodriguez is of the world for Mexico. Really, really tough uh, country when it comes to the sport of boxing. They compete well. And right now, Santo Domingo is really trying to make their mark, uh, and it's small steps for Santo Domingo, small steps. I interviewed Rohan Polanco earlier today, and I didn't really get to talk to him much because I've already interviewed him on my channel. And when he came on my channel, I had already told him what I felt about him. I said, "Kid, you're good. You're gonna be a champion one day." Now I'm looking at him. I'm thinking Rohan Polanco might be the first Dominican unified world champion. He has that kind of power. But what Rohan needs to do right now is stay focused on where he needs to be. He wants to double back, right? And fight this fight because Delgado, look, beat two Dominican fighters. Rohan, let that go. That don't do nothing for you. I think you're putting your nose in business that it's not gonna benefit you because you're not gonna stay at that weight division. So you might as well just try to focus on climbing the division at 147. He had some hand issues, and so I think that you know, uh, Rashidi Ellis, perhaps, you know, uh, I like the Rashidi Ellis fight, but I also think that there's a bigger fight for Rohan Polanco than Rashidi Ellis. If I'm being honest, they said his name today in the interview, and out of respect, I'm saying it back. I just think there's a bigger fight for him than Rashidi Ellis, to tell you the truth. Uh, you know, um, Lewis Crocker, right? He's the number one for the IBF right now. Uh, there was you see, I'm not sure Rohan Polanco's ready for like uh or maybe he would be for Devin Haney. I was gonna say I'm not sure if he's ready for Devin Haney, but you attack Devin Haney at the right time. That might be a good fucking fight. Devin Haney's registered at 147. I don't know why he never fought at 147. What he fought in his last fight? 143, 144, some shit like that. So he's never technically fought at 147. I mean, and then Mario Barrios, Not a lot of people are bringing up his name. This rumored fight with Manny Pacquiao. That rumor's been going around for 2 years already, right? Um, Rohan Polanco versus Mario Barrio. Uh, that would be a good fight. Rohan Polanco's not ready for Brian Norman Jr. just yet. Now, he might not be ready for Mario Barrio just yet. I think Rohan Polanco is good, pero le falta. Le falta like he needs like two more fights. He's gonna have to get like I wouldn't just advise them to just jump from like the number 12 or 10 spot. I think he's number 10. And from the number 10 just go up to a champion. That wouldn't be really good. Although Rohan would not deny the fight. Rohan will fight anybody, right? Uh but if I was thinking about the kids' well-being, and giving them the best shot at a world title, yeah, I could see two more fights before a world title fight for Rohan if he gets it. Um, Sometimes things speed up in boxing, and sometimes things take forever in boxing. So in that, and then like, uh, you know what would be a fucking crazy fight if he could do it would be Conor Ben. Rohan against Conor Ben. Like if he came back down to 147, I would like that fight like that. Um, you don't think if yeah, moving up to 140 and 147, I don't like that for Rohan. I think that's messy. Lindolfo Delgado, like he needs just to leave him alone. That Mexican dude beat up two of your Dominican brothers. They should have beat him. They should have won. A lot of people think that Elvis won that fight. Yeah, I do, but it's the same fucking thing. I'm gonna go down the same road I did with Devin and Loma. What's it gonna say on paper? I know what we think, I know what you feel, but look, when Cancial beat O'Shaughnessy Foster that first fight, I was shocked. But what was O'Shaughnessy had to get his belt back. The second fight was better. But you know what I mean, guys. Like just arguing who I think is, it's not gonna change anything, guys. Yo, Carlos, I'm gonna drop this link in the chat right here, and then Teal's performance. Teofimo Lopez. Um, as for me, anyway, it was the exact fight I pictured in my head. I know that everybody wanted Arnold Barboza to be our savior, unquote. I guess if you see Teo in that light, I don't, right? And they were like, "Oh, Barboza's gonna finally come and fucking, punch Teo's face and fucking mouth for that mouth that he has." And I was like, "You guys are putting feelings and emotions into this fight. You're not seeing Teo for the fighter that he actually is. You can no longer see Teo." And I was trying to tell you guys that I didn't think that Arnold Barboza was on Teo's level. I thought the fight played out exactly the way I saw it in my head. That's exactly the way the fight played out. Teo was just a step ahead of Arnold the entire night. And that's how I saw it in my head. So there's no surprises in that fight for me. I think that Teo fought well. And for the people that think, why didn't Teo go in for the kill? Why didn't Teo try to knock out Arnold Barboza? I would argue that point. Teo went in to try to knock out Arnold Barboza. Arnold Barboza reminded his face that he was still in the game. And he fucking busted Teo. That was Teo trying to go in. Arnold was still dangerous. He wasn't a dumb fighter. You can't knock out all the top guys because these guys are the highly and the best in the division. That's why as you go up in the quality of opponents, your knockouts might drop. because these guys ain't as stupid to make those mistakes and the way you was knocking out the guys down there. So in actuality, Tio fought a great fight. Arnold Barboza, a little flat for me, a little, I would say. I thought he had better pep in his step with the Jack Catterall fight. So, but Tio did great. Tio did great. Look at Richard Hitchison. When we're thinking about these guys, right, and fighting like the best, fighting the best. Did you guys just see this Richard Hitchison with George Camboza freaking press conference there? It was bullshit. Like I'm just sick with it. What's up, Carlos? How you doing, brother?
What's up, Edwin? Round one. Salute to
Easy, brother.
everybody
Puerto
in the
Rico.
channel.
Yeah, man. Talk to me, brother. Talk to me. What you want to talk?
Yeah, um, just been talking about boxing today.
Yep.
This Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios really has me surprised. You know what I mean? Being 46 years old and coming back in 4 years. Ain't you need like 5 years to be inducted in the Hall of Fame?
No, la cosa es que Manny Pacquiao is on the ballot for this year's inductees to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I'm thinking about going to it. I looked at the who's on the ballot. Manny Pacquiao is on the ballot. What the fuck are you doing on the? You need 5 years of inactivity as a pro to be inducted in the Hall of Fame.
So does that him like fighting Mario Barrios cancels out the ballot and he has to start all over again?
Perhaps,
Oh man.
perhaps. Uh, yeah, they can take a lot of like. There's rules to this because I'm gonna tell you right now, right? Just like men, no, there's no brainers. There's like a 1% of men that retire from their sport, and I don't think you should wait 5 years to induct them to the Hall of Fame. Like for one person in particular, Tom Brady. What the fuck is the holdup? Like, or the debate? Like, oh, let's think about this. No, he is definitely going like there's nothing to think about. You know what I mean? Like just you
Yeah.
shouldn't wait 5 years for him to retire.
And, and,
Get
and, and the fight's gonna be on July 19th. It's gonna
yeah.
be the main card.
You think so?
And yeah, they announced it. And the co-main is gonna be Fudora versus Tim Tszyu part two.
Ooh. Whoa. Back up, back up. Thank you. You letting me know something. Hold on. So Fedora and Tim Zoo took the co-main slot?
Yes.
That could have made a main event by itself.
Yes.
Uh
But Pacquiao holds a lot of weight, you know this.
Come on, old ass Pike. What happened the last? Didn't he fight a kickboxer his last and got his ass whooped?
Oh man.
What do you mean? No, Carlos. I got to bring it up. I can't. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I think that a lot of people are remembering the fighter that Manny Pacquiao once was, the name. And a lot of people, just like I was, blind with Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. I thought Mike Tyson would kill him, but I see that $20 million bought himself Mike Tyson not to throw that right. So, but I don't think that'll be the case in this. I think Manny Pacquiao actually try to fight him, but my money is definitely on Mario Barrio, one hundred
You
percent.
know, rightfully so. You know, the president of the WBC said that he wants to retire with the WBC belt. I think it was like the first belt he ever won, and he wants to retire on top. You know what I mean? His last loss was this with Ugas, and so the good thing about this fight is gonna be exciting, and Mario Barrios is gonna come forward, and
Yeah.
Pacquiao's gonna come forward. But I don't know. I don't think Pacquiao's got the same legs no more. You know what I mean?
Nah, I don't think he has the same leg. I don't think he has the same snap in his punch. I see actually no way uh 47-year-old Manny Pacquiao is gonna beat Mario Barrio right now.
If he
Uh,
does, but if he does beat Mario Barrios, no one is breaking that record. I'm sorry, in welterweight,
what do you mean? I don't
the
understand.
oldest world champion
Oh,
at
yeah,
welterweight.
at welterweight. No, nobody's gonna break that record. I don't think that would be a good record. Like just like for the heavyweight championship at 45, George Foreman won a heavyweight. I don't know if there's an older heavyweight champion.
Oh man,
And just like with Feto Benitez, I don't think there'll be a younger champion at 17. I don't think there's
yeah,
a 17-year-old kid that's going to be able to do that.
or a
Um,
60-year-old. Yep.
yeah, I don't think so. He'd be real special. So
I was meaning to ask you real quick.
yep,
Who is the monster in boxing?
Naoya Inoue.
Woo! Why not David Benavidez?
He's an email champion. How can I call you a monster with an email belt?
Let's go. Let's go. I like it. I like it. Oh man. In a
You don't,
way,
how can
man.
I call you? You didn't fight anybody for that belt. You don't even got championship credentials on that belt. There's no
Hey,
way.
it's a difference when Cardena hit in a way flush and he got dropped. He got hurt, but he came back and he stopped Cardenas. But when Benavides got dropped by Muriel, yeah, he won the fight, but he didn't stop Muriel. You know what I mean?
Right. Yo, listen. Shouts out to Roman Cardin, wherever you are in the world. He might be in Japan with his girlfriend. He said he was headed that way. Take a little time off the sport. Take 2 weeks or so off. Shouts out to Roman Cardin, man, for really stepping up and bringing us that oh wow moment and really believing in yourself. Like Roman Cardin, watching that fight live, yo, that hook was coming off so fast from the trigger. But he was just ducking his head down too low. He would lose track of Naoya Inoue. I think he actually caught Naoya Inoue, like looking down and he was looking at his feet. And Naoya Inoue, what happened was he got greedy.
Yeah.
He went in for the kill. Uh, he just wanted to get to it. And when
But
you're fighting these top level guys, I just think that there's a process. Naoya didn't. He wanted to get right to the victory, and he paid the
oh
price for
man,
it.
when I saw
Yeah.
that fight live, this fight was not like Luis Nery. You know, Luis
Oh,
Nery got the shot off, but after that, anyway, destroyed Luis Nery.
yeah.
But this fight, I genuinely was getting worried for Inoue because Cardino was just wah wah, and he hit Inoue to the body. Inoue
Oh,
like
to the
had a
body.
oh
Yeah.
man, he had a pause away like
He went,
I'm like
"Ugh!"
what?
I
I'm
was
like
like, yo.
¿qué está pasando? I'm like no way.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
no. Not only did he hit him to the body, but he snuck one up around to the jaw,
Yeah,
around
cabrón.
Naoya's.
I'm like este
Yeah.
cabrón,
Oh, he did.
this motherfucker.
He did. And I was like, no, but Cardenas was there to fight. You can
Yeah,
see his warrior spirit was on full display.
he
You know,
cut his rat tail and he was like, bro, I'm ready.
yo, listen, Cardenas was fighting like there was no tomorrow for him. Like there was nowhere else to go. That this was your moment right here. He was really shooting for the stars, but he was outgunned once Naoya Inoue settled in. He started realizing that Cardenas didn't do well with a variety of punches. He needed to keep 3, 4, 5 piece combination punches and keep getting them back so that he can go back into the high guard. It was a very exciting fight, back and forth. Both men fought their heart out. This was like no one-sided event, at least.
This
Someone,
fight,
yeah, actually came out and took it to Naoya Inoue, bro.
this
Yo,
this fight was like old school boxing.
oh yeah,
Oh
it was
man,
amazing. No, let me tell you something right now, right? I don't have any film. I have some more film on the fight, but I don't have the actual knockdown. I was too busy fucking grabbing my head like this, like in awe of what I just saw, because watching it in real life, in real time, as the closing seconds were coming down to round two, it was like 10 seconds in the round. I remember I heard the thing go click, click, and I was like, ah, yeah, okay, we'll go to round three. And I look up like this. I'm just sitting there and I see, boom, yo, my man looked like he glitched out. Naoya Inoue. He hit him and he went,
Yeah.
and he shut off for a second and then
Yes.
dropped. I was like, no, I thought as he was like falling, it seemed like reality just slowed down in my head. And as he was falling, I thought he was out, like out. Like I thought he was gonna do a fucking Manny Pacquiao. When homeboy hit him and Manny didn't
Yeah,
move,
Marquez. Yeah.
and the referee was trying to play it off. Manny, one, two, like bro, why are you counting?
He was asleep.
Motherfucker was
Yeah.
sleeping, right? And you saw Naoya Inoue's knees give out, and his whole body just felt like a sack of potatoes. That's a bad look. When a guy falls like that, you got him, right? He falls, bam, and then all of a sudden he just gets up and then swears, and he's on his knees. And then when he lifted his hand to his corner, he was looking right at his dad. He went like this. He went like to kind of like say, I fucked up. You were right. I took it like that. I don't know what he really meant, but I kind of took it like I know Shingo wouldn't have told his son to go out there chasing the knockout. I think Naoya Inoue did that on his own. When he got back to that corner, right, he was when okay. When he gets dropped, he gets up. The referee turns around. Naoya Inoue looked right at him. Bro, this motherfucker's such a dog that right he thought he was gonna go right, and fight Cardenas. He was already ready, and the bell went ding, and Naoya was like, he was like, all right. So I know when he went back to his corner, his dad got all over his shit. Was like,
Oh
yo,
yeah. He was speaking so fast.
he was like, what the fuck are you? I don't speak Japan, but I know that Shingo, you know, he's real technical, and his preparation with his two sons and his nephew there, cousin. And Shingo's a really, really good coach, from what I hear. I've heard a lot of people, even that guy that went out there to Japan, TB, True School Sports. I've heard how the way he talks about how Shingo prepares things, and from what I know, he's not gonna play that shit. So the way that Naoya Inoue came back out and took over in the fight, man, I was impressed. What'd you think about that, Carlos?
Oh man, it was like so many feelings I was feeling at the moment. It was like
Yeah,
I
it's crazy.
remember, you know, I remember I watched it with my and it was like I saw it was just I was just so glued. I remember when the knockdown happened, I literally stand up and I ran to the kitchen with my hands up. I'm like, what? And I came back on running. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like telling Cardenas, like, this is your moment. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. Oh,
Did
bro, you let it go out your hand.
Carlos, did you think about me? did you think
Oh,
did you think about me when he
hell
did?
yeah. Hell yeah. Bro, you was there live. I was like, so much stuff was going on. I'm like, man, round one has to be like going nuts over there. And it was awesome. Top Rank really showed that with simplicity, they did so much they gave the fans so much value. You know what I mean? And now looking forward, you know, they announced MJ is gonna be September. In a way, it's gonna dog the fuck out of MJ. I don't give a fuck about MJ. We beating MJ, but I am worried, Rodwood. I'm worried, bro. Nakatani, man. Nakatani.
Well,
If Naka, what you
I was
think?
I was
Nakatani
talking.
punches.
Okay. I was talking to Robert Guerrero today. Robert Garcia today. Sorry,
Garcia, yeah.
Robert Guerrero. That was his fighter. Oh my God, the ghost. Right. So anyway, um, Robert Garcia. I was talking to Robert Garcia today, and Robert Garcia told me that if Bam Bam can't um become undisputed at 115, He's gonna fight Kafu right now,
Yeah, Kafu for the
and
WO.
then
Yep.
yeah, right. If after that fight, excuse me, he can't get any other fighters champions, he's gonna move up to 118. Who's at 118? Junto Nakatoni. He
Uh
has
huh.
two belts. So, excuse me, I asked. Let me get some water here. I asked him, "What'd you think about a potential fight between Junto and Naoya Inoue?" And Robert Garcia said that fight has to happen between Bam Bam Rodriguez and Naoya Inoue. He
What
said
about
that fight.
Junto?
See, that's the thing,
Because 115, 118 is
right?
an easy jump for Bam to make.
Mm, listen, that's the thing. The winner out of Bam Bam Rodriguez and Junto Nakatoni would fight Naoya Inoue. He would be worthy.
Ooh.
He would be worthy. By that standard, those two top guys would have went to war, and when the smoke was cleared, whoever was left standing, that would be Naoya Inoue's worthy opponent. I can't say definitively that Bam would be standing or Junto,
Yeah, it's
because
a close fight.
when it comes to those two men, both men have good attributes. They bring something to the table. Junto brings his power, his length, his height, his good jab, well placement of punches.
Bam got
Bam,
his angles.
oh, his angles with his footwork. He's doing the matrix out there. You know what I'm saying? So, and Bam is sharp. You got to admit, and he's got a great jab. He's got an
Yeah. And he
awesome
goes to the
fucking
body
jab.
too.
Yeah, he's got an awesome, and Bam is what I call a systematic fighter. He'll break you down round by round. He understands his assignment. That's how I view Bam Bam Rodriguez. Bam Bam Rodriguez is going out there, and there's not too many seconds in the round that he's taking off. It's constant in your face pressure, looking for angles, going in on you, and really breaking you down round by round until you slow down just that little bit. He's gonna knock you out.
Yeah. Let me read
Bam's
this comment.
yeah, go ahead. Read.
Fraudline said Edwin was ready to jump in the ring.
With Naoya Inoue,
Yeah.
security had to hold me back. What you mean? I was ready to go in there. Yo, wasn't with that, yo. But my man definitely came back in the fight, Naoya Inoue, and he hit um Cardenas with that little step back check hook. He hit
Uh-huh.
Luis Nari with, and he hit Luis Nari with that side step back check hook and dropped Luis Nari with that
Uh-huh.
shot. Cardenas was stood in front of him,
Yeah,
was like, "Yeah, that's
Cardino's
all you got."
absorbing a lot of shots. I was
No,
surprised.
he is my definition of a tough man. He was a really tough guy, Cardenas, real strong, powerful puncher. Um, I'm not gonna say that he had to show that he was a skilled. Maybe he had a different approach. Sometimes you can be misled by a fighter, and then the next fighter you see he's more on his feet using the jab. But in the Naoya Inoue fight, he used a different game plan. See, it's
This
not that
comment.
right. It's just not like he can't do it. That was like kind of like telling Michael Jordan when he was playing the Trailblazers and they heavily criticized Michael for not shooting the three. And he went out there and shot their lights out from the 3-point line. And when he looked at him and was like, I can shoot. I just never had to. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's the athlete. Now I'm telling you, no, I can fight this way, but
This
I had to fight the fight this way. What's up?
this comment makes a good point.
Okay, read it.
Lofton, I think is he says Bam been dropped too. So and I that's he makes a good point because Bam Rodriguez has been dropped before. Inoue has been dropped before. The only one that hasn't been hurt or dropped is Nakatani.
Kenny Lofton. Well, look at that. that that logic of you being dropped in a fight, um, it doesn't have any weight. Meaning, you're in a fight, anything can happen.
Uh
It's
huh.
not. It's not like when, like I said, when Castillo was beating the shit out of fucking Diego Corrales,
Yeah.
and he got dropped numerous times in that fight. You don't remember Diego Corrales going down in that fight. What you remember was the comeback.
Yeah. The comeback.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's an excuse to discredit someone's skill. Oh, he got dropped before. Well, then tell me, what was the result of the fight? What was the outcome? Like Naoya Inoue got dropped by Luis Pantera. Okay, fine. He got dropped in the fight. I got my popcorn. You got my attention. Tell me the rest of the story. How'd it go?
Yeah, because like you said, triangle theories do not work in boxing. If that was the case, Ryan Garcia would have dogged Rolly Romero.
Right.
And look what happened. No one believed Rolly Romero had a chance against Ryan Garcia, and now he shocked the world.
One of
And
the
and,
guys.
and, and and
Yeah.
we look at it, and Rolly Romero been through more punishment. He's been knocked out more, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 Keep talking, Carlos. Yeah, you're fucking right. You know what I'm saying? And Rolly was more damage of a fighter than ever Ryan was.
oh
And you
yeah,
know, and Ryan didn't get up and beat Rolly. Ryan got dropped and lost. There's a
yeah,
difference.
yeah. He lost once he
Naoya
got
Inoue
dropped.
got
Yeah,
dropped. Naoya Inoue got dropped, but won. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? So, like, what a lot of real boxing hardcore fans and boxers and mainstreamers are saying, the reason why they're giving Naoya Inoue so much credit in this victory because he fought through adversity. That's
Yes.
exactly why we're awarding him such a great fight. Brother, you were hurt in that fight. We saw how big you were hit. That man would have hit anybody else like that. He probably would have put 45% of the guys in that division out cold with that shot. The other, I would say 20% would have been on Bambly legs coming out in the second round. There was a real small margin of tough men that could take that kind of shot and come back and take control of the fight.
Yeah, you would have a shot like that would have
Oh my God.
stopped someone like Stephen Fulton, for
Oh,
example.
right. Instantly, bro. He would have that shot would have if Steven wouldn't have made it up from that shot. I don't believe it.
Yeah,
I
me
don't
either.
believe it. I don't believe it. Now,
It takes
tough
a special
guys
fighter to to to
or
get hit with.
the
Yeah,
crazy
man.
ones. I don't know. Something tells me maybe Casamero might have got up. Like a fighter like that, like a maybe like a Casamero, like them, like Marlon Tapales is tough in that division, like
Yeah.
really tough. But I don't think Jason Maloney or any of those other guys would have gotten up. Like I don't think that Emmanuel Rodriguez would have got up from that shot. I really don't. I don't think there's a lot of guys in that division. I
Uh
don't think
oh.
that would, you know.
Mexican boxing number one says Espinosa hits him with the same shot and he doesn't get up. I'm more confident than ever Espinosa stops Naoya anyway. But now Naoya gonna stay at 122, not going up to 126 anytime soon. He has a good team. He knows that that's too much. Too much
Well,
at 126. Oh
well.
my gosh,
I
Espinosa did a great performance too, man. I
Yeah,
love this
yeah,
performance.
and I got to hear Espinosa's punches versus Roman Cardenas, and
No,
I gotta
who? Oh, sorry. He was fighting Vasquez. Go ahead.
yeah, you
Eh,
mean Espinosa was fighting Vasquez?
Yeah, Espinosa was
Okay,
fighting
okay,
Vasquez.
all right. So when I heard Espinosa's punches hit Vasquez, I I barely heard him. So that means that he has like bludgeoning power, like getting hit by a martillo, like
Yeah, and
like
he's like
like
shaking your
yeah.
body.
Yeah, yeah, it's well, he was leaning down and fucking hitting him with that uppercut into
Bro,
the
his
body.
uppercut would be long range.
Yeah, real long range, right? And they had a pretty good snap to them, right? But I had to admit that Ramon Cardine's speed, the speed coming out of the punch, rather than how Espinoza was just so tall, just towering over a little guy with confidence. That's what it looked like. He was just walking in and he was trying to avoid the overhand shot,
But
just paying attention to it.
Vasquez is tough though. He never been stopped.
Oh,
He
I
won a
know.
split. He went split decision loss with with this dude Ford, with Ford the
Right,
champion.
right,
Yeah.
right. Now, the thing is that when I was hearing Espinoza punch, I was watching him punch. Right, Espinoza punches. Right, his. He was like he broke Vasquez down. He didn't hit Vasquez with one shot and just cripple him. No, it was a just a fucking sequence of just relentless punches. So it took accumulation. So I noticed right there that there's no way on God's green earth you're gonna convince me that who this?
Us, Sports One, Round Sports. What's
What's up,
good,
brother? How
baby?
you doing, man? What's
Hey man,
going
I was
on?
cooking. No shit, man. I was cooking on the Hangout Spot show, killing it over there, talking my shit. How you doing, bro? I hear you
Man,
blowing up.
yeah, man. I'm trying to do my thing out here in these YouTube streets.
Hey
So
man, I heard Two Tone got a bone. Got a. I heard Two Tone don't like you for some reason, bro. I don't know what's up with that boy.
I
He's
mean,
hating.
listen, bro. When you're better looking and you still got hair, and the women look at you, you're gonna feel some kind of way. You don't want the fine dude coming around. You know what I mean? So I
For
get it. I
sure.
get it. You know what I mean? And I pick and choose my moments, brother. Pick and choose
Yeah,
my moments because I didn't start this for two tone. I'm
yeah,
not.
yeah.
I'm not here
For
to
sure.
entertain him. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I like you on TBV, man. You come with your shit. You come with the facts. You be spitting fire, bro. You come with the fucking facts.
Yeah, but I would.
You be
I
killing it.
try. I.
Yeah,
I. I
bro.
I try all the time, man. But Ness is like I listen to him and shit like that. Those kind of dudes, and when the
Yeah,
Robert Garcia's come on and stuff, like it's always an honor to take the back seat and let them guys talk because
for
I'm
sure.
always interested on learning more and more about boxing. There's just so much about it, but listen, man, this two tone thing really like it doesn't move me as a person. So, I'm expected to get on tomorrow and act like nothing happened. I
Yeah.
got some phone calls and shit,
Mhm.
and I chose to think about myself and what my vision is rather than stooping down to what this idiot
Yes.
said. You know what I
No,
mean?
I was listening to the Two Tone show the other day, and this whole thing with Tio saying the N word with the ER, what or
Yeah, yeah,
whatnot. But Two Tone had some girl on the live, and they were saying how Hondurans and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans have African roots, so they could say the N word, but Mexicans they can't. But now they're tripping, and now they're tripping on Tio for saying the N word. I don't get
yeah,
it.
I mean, he the I seen the video, but the controversy here is, I mean, it sounds like he said the hard R,
mm,
and the other word is not the word that is being talked about
Well,
at the
well,
moment.
yeah. Well, look, man. I mean, black people and Hispanic people got different dialects, different accents. So, some Hispanic people or white people might say it with the ER, and not say it with the A. Just that's just how our accent is. I mean, you want us to talk like a black person? I don't think that's gonna happen. So, and, I'm in Chicago. I live in Chicago. In Chicago, sometimes we say nigger, but not I'm calling you like a nigger, like hey you slave or whatever. The
yeah,
way black people take it, it's just a different way we talk, just
hmm
different dialect, different accent. But
I,
we don't mean no harm by that. You know what I
right,
mean?
right, right, right. I would have gave you that. I would have gave you that analogy that you just broke down really really well, and some people do have a different way of pronouncing things. But I can't give you that when Tio was born in New York. He's been saying the word with his boys for fucking years. He knows the
Mm,
right way to say it and the wrong way to say it, brother. That's
yeah,
the problem I have with Tio. You see,
yeah,
if you're from Chicago and
yeah.
I'm Puerto Rican, I'm an East Coast Puerto Rican. I say the word all day. I don't
Right.
get on here. And I don't. I act like I got some sense because that word came up in my era. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's when Puerto Ricans and black dudes we were considered by a lot of our peers to be uh why you acting like a nigga? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
To me, like a Puerto Rican. And then if we dressed a little bit, they said that we act like white people. It
yeah,
was like
yeah.
we didn't have no identity in the 80s when I was growing up. And it was real hard being a Puerto Rican because it was like we were doing a tightrope walk in society. We were niggas to them and spics to them and
Yeah, yeah,
white.
yeah.
Like it was crazy because I'll go home and my grandmother's black as hell and my sister looks like Pocahontas and my brother looks like a fucking Spaniard.
Hey, hey, you ain't never been to Chicago? Edwin, right? Edwin's your name?
Yeah,
Fourth
I
one?
drove through it a few times, but I
Bro,
didn't stop. I didn't
there's
stop a
a
lot.
there's a big Puerto Rican community in Chicago. I mean,
Is
there's
there? Is there?
history. I mean,
Yeah.
the Puerto Ricans have history. Like, I'm not Puerto Rican, I'm
Yeah.
Mexican, but the Puerto Ricans got history in Chicago, like worldwide fucking history. Like, you ever heard
Oh
of Humble
yeah, the
Park?
Latin kings and the Latin disciples come from there.
Yeah, hey, bro. So
That's right.
me, I'm folks. I'm a part of the gangster family, like with the
Yeah.
GDs. I'm a gangster 2-6. So
Yeah.
we fight with the Latin Kings, you know. But
Right, right, right,
the
right, right.
the, the Land Disciples,
Yeah.
they broke up and they became, like Maniac Latin Disciples
Okay.
and gangster
Mhm.
Satan disciples and gangsters disciples and all types of shit. Cobras, Imperial gangsters. But man, the Puerto Ricans, they were trying to get into the politics.
Yeah.
You ever heard of the Rainbow Push Coalition?
No.
Well,
No,
this is something in Chicago. You ever heard of a Huey P. Newton, right?
he sounds familiar, but I
He
don't. I
wrote a
don't.
book
Huey P.
about
Newton, I think he came from LA, but he did some work in Chicago with the Rainbow Push Coalition, and they killed him. But this was
oh.
during like the 70s and shit, 60s and 70s. But
He
nah,
he was
man,
coming out of a record he was coming out of some studio and they shot him with a shotgun. That dude?
nah, they broke into his crib. The police
Okay.
killed him.
Oh.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
police
Was
killed
he?
him.
Was he a Black Panther?
Something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
Okay,
know
okay,
this
okay,
But
story
okay.
man,
now.
bro, Chicago got a lot of
They
history,
set him
man.
up.
Like they did. Like we all like in Chicago, we're segregated, but still we come together because we all from the hood.
Yeah.
And nobody checks nobody on saying the N-word or this, and everybody respects everybody,
Right.
and everybody's cool. You know what I mean?
I think. Listen, okay. First of all, I wanted to answer what your original topic was
Hmm.
that the fact that Two Tone and this girl think that they're the in and say all in the world. That's how high his brain and his head and his platform thinks that if he says who he deems worthy to say it, like if he's all say all, it's ridiculous, right? Like if he even got that kind of power to discuss that kind of topic. It's ridiculous, right?
Yeah,
I also really believe that it's where you were born at type thing because the East Coast Puerto Ricans, the Fat Joes of the world, all of us on that side like this is who we are. You get the Fat Joes and all of them, and they start going that way. People start feeling offended. They're not used to seeing that. It's kind of like, you know, I can imagine back in the fucking 1600s when they saw a black dude riding a horse. They're like, "What the hell is he doing riding a horse?" Right? Like,
yeah,
it's something you don't see every day. So, although we do live in the same point in time, uh, your neighborhood, your barrio, your hood, it's all different everybody else. And I've always said this. Well, I no, I'm not, I'm lying. As I got older, I started saying this. When you go into somebody else's neighborhood or somebody else's town, act like you have sense.
Hmm.
learn the culture, learn the customs, and things like that. Maybe when I was younger, I didn't think of that. I always thought I was a Billy Badass until I ran into myself. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah.
so uh, it's just, yeah, I think that's just a word, and they wanted to talk about that because they feel like they're entitled because they're two black peoples talking about it, and I guess
Hmm.
them two talking about it will the entire world will listen to them, and I don't think Fat Joe will ever stop saying it. All right, that's just a done deal. Okay,
I don't think
so
anybody's gonna stop saying it.
yeah, like,
It's just
and
whatever.
then yeah, it's like uh just now we got to get smart and analytical. Oh, Puerto Ricans have 46% DNA African roots. Like what the fuck
Yeah,
are we doing here? Like what?
right.
Like this is ridiculous.
It's
But
all about respect. Respect goes a long
that's
way,
all. That's all.
and I
That's all
respect
it is.
my elders. I respect everyone's elders,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
what they went through and stuff like that. And I just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I
because it's
mean,
like when you span out outside of where you always live, and you actually explore the world, in this case the United States, like there's different parts of the United States, like let's say California got a big population of Mexicans, and because the borders there, and it's like a different world, you know what I mean? So me, I'm not used to seeing that, and it's just, we can't just be ignorant here, you know what I mean? And it's always wise to always listen and learn instead of going off of feeling, you know what I mean?
right. My thing is like, why does their swear or word got to be better or sound cooler than anybody else's? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why can't we just walk around calling each other, "Yo, my spick, what you doing today, my spick?" Like, I guess it doesn't sound that cool. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
why? Like,
um,
but
I think it's the way. Okay, if an African American brother would just go, okay, if they hear me say nigga,
yeah,
and if an African American heard it, there's two ways he can go about it. He can
yeah,
go and be like, hey, excuse me, sir, that word is very offensive to me. It hurts my feelings. Please, it makes me sad. I don't want
yeah,
to, I don't want to hear that word from anyone. But please, if you cannot say it, I would appreciate that. Now that's the right way to go up to somebody and say it. But the
Hmm.
black people are doing it the opposite. They're saying, "Oh, you better not say that word or else." That's where it gets into the or else what? What are you gonna do about it?
right,
They don't know how to articulate themselves and they don't know how to speak, talk.
well,
They automatically just want to jump into a rage and into a
right,
violent mode.
right.
And Latinos, we don't play that shit, because we jump. We'll kill you just like that.
We're real prideful. Yeah,
And
yeah.
Hot blooded.
boxing's about fighting, bro.
Orgulloso.
And we
Yeah.
want to know, we want to see who is the best fighter: the black, the Mexican, the Puerto Rican, the Dominican, the white. This is fighting.
Yeah,
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And
UK,
those so
Japanese.
yeah,
There's a lot of
and
yeah, yeah,
tribalism.
exactly.
right,
Arab, Muslim, yeah, man. It's crazy out there. But I think that black people need to look deep into themselves and identify how am I being perceived when I'm trying to uh, counsel another
right.
human being on how to
On
use this word
how
and
to
not use this word.
right, right. Well, this is the last thing I'm about to say on this, and we're gonna
Yeah,
change
for
the
sure.
subject. Because I don't
I know
feel
it's a
like,
touchy one.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm not qualified to like tell the world how they should feel. You know what I mean? I don't want to
yeah,
be that guy, right?
for sure.
Hmm.
But I could honestly say one thing: growing up in my era, when it was played all over by NWA, and we were like hearing it for the first time, and we started, I really honestly believed, I had stepped back and looked at it, and I was like, wow, that's brilliant. They took the one word that uses to degrade them and belittle them, and they used it, and they took the sting out of the words. So what I really think that happened, is the higher up white people, not like the white people that live around us, like our nurses, teachers, not that kind of white. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about the real kind of white up there. And
Yeah.
what they needed to do was to convince the black man at that time that was trying to be equal with them. What they said was, you shouldn't allow your people to call yourselves that, because, and then they'll have black folk turn around and tell other black folk, and it'll sound real educated. It'll sound like you shouldn't say call each other that because it's giving them, but they don't understand that they're keeping the power on the word.
Mm.
These ghetto kids, without even thinking about what they were doing, they took the sting right out of the word. They made it fashionable. They made it cool. They was like calling it to each other. And then all of a sudden, these black folk that dress real good. Typically, he had a black freaking Letterman's jacket with glasses. It was always a black dude that looked like that came to our school to tell
Mm-hmm.
us not to say it.
Oh no, really? Wow. Okay.
And I was like looking on the outside in, like it looks like the other man got you to try to convince us not to call it because you actually want the word to still have power over us. You want it so that when you say the word, it triggers something. In my era, there was like 3 years when NWA was out that the word could be said anywhere and it didn't bother no one.
Mm.
Then all of a sudden, these other black folk came and gave power back to the word.
Ah, I see.
And they got these
Interesting.
other people. Now they're like, and I'm like sitting there like, wow, I can't believe how they're trying to use their own suffering and their own passion to express, not to say the word against them once again, to keep the word so that when you hear it, it triggers you. It no longer died. When all NWA, Easy E, Q, Ice Cube, I want to be a nigga, you be a nigga, when you want to be a nigga too. Yo, they had everybody jumping. Everybody was clapping. You like the word. Listen, I was in an era where my teacher called it to me out, and I laughed at her. Not until they introduced us to his back again and put meaning behind the word again. And they used their own people to do that to them.
Mm.
And I watched it over the years. But I'm not black. I got no say. I
For
can't be
sure.
like, yo, you guys are being tricked again. Who the fuck am I? Anybody gonna listen to me? No. I'm just a fucking Puerto Rican standing in the middle of both of your fight.
Yeah,
That's all I
but
ever was.
Yeah, man. You know that's a good point. Their fight is with the white people, not with Hispanics.
But I was, my race was always stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
We're,
Well,
we're either white on one day or we're black the next. You
we're,
understand?
we're just. I'm just a wetback from
Like,
Chicago.
but that's how it's. And you want to know something? And you want to know something? You ain't none of that, bro. You're a fucking man.
I'm a man.
You're a
Exactly. You are.
human.
Yes. I'm a human
Yeah,
being.
you ain't no you. We are equal, brother. And I
For sure.
respect and love you for who the man you are. And you care about your family and keep your eye on your prize, your babies, your loved ones. And some of this nonsense out here, which it is nonsense, is just to
Mhm.
keep us distracted and separated more by a stupid word. Because why can't we be friends? Why can't we talk? Why can't we view something and come together and appreciate something, whether we agree or not? We all have a common goal. I started a boxing channel. That's what got us on here because of our love of a sport,
Boxing, right? Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then
yeah.
there's controversy that comes into our channels, but yo, we got to be the bigger people. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
just be like, yo, you know what? That's your fight. That's your fight. You know what I mean? And like sometimes, like, look, if this is what you want me to do, like I'll step back. I won't say the word out of respect. If you want the sting still to be on the word, that was up to your people to decide that. But my word, spick, I found out where it came from. I found out the meaning of it. It means when a Puerto Rican woman was trying to look for help, she says, "Me no speak English. Me no speak. Me no speak English." And that's where like it got broken down to me no speak. Sit down right there. Me no speak.
Yeah, they
And
made
then
fun of it.
it made fun of it, and then the word spick, like things get broken down throughout the course, and that's how spick came about from a Latin person saying "me no speak English."
Yeah.
You
Man,
see,
you should go look at some Puerto Rican Chicago history. I think you'll like it, bro. I think you're gonna be amazed at what you find out.
I would always love to
Yes.
siege further, and I was just looking that there was possibly some Hebrew on the island of Puerto Rico. There's some caves that they were looking at,
Mm.
and they're trying to match the writing on the wall with some. So they're thinking like Christopher Columbus type shit, that they were late to the party. Like
Yeah,
there was a lot.
they even
Was
said that. So I heard that Christopher Columbus was not the first visitors of the island. They said even Vikings explored the island before. I don't know how.
I heard that.
I'm not a history guy like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I was gonna ask, in Chicago, are there a lot of boxing like gyms and stuff like
Man,
that
you
in
know what?
Chicago?
There is, but I'll tell you one thing, man. Chicago's a different. It's if you ain't gang banging, drug dealing,
right,
Oh
you a
yeah, there's a
lame.
lot of
You a
crime.
lame. You a lame. You know, if like you're into boxing and you try to walk the straight line, nobody really fucks with you. You know, you just on
right,
your own little shit.
right.
That's how it is over here, man. If you ain't gang banging, drug dealing, smoking weed, going out, getting drunk, you know, there we do a lot of fighting in the streets and shit like that.
Yeah,
But there's boxing gyms. There's boxing gyms. There's some boxers that come out of here. But people ain't the kids ain't growing up trying to be in a boxing gym. The kids are growing up trying to gang bang on the block.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
wrong, man. But
yeah.
that's the culture in Chicago.
That's how it is out here in Boston. Like
So
whenever we would see like the boys club kids come jogging down the street, we
hmm
wouldn't let nobody fuck with them because they were like representing our city and shit. And then we had like our one pro Jose Rivera, and he would run up and like I was into that life. We'd be leaning up against the car
yeah.
doing dirt and see him running by and shit. And but nobody in the city would fuck with him because it was just like I don't know. It was an unwritten rule by us. We never talked about it, but if anybody fucked with him, oh ho ho ho, like it was just
Yeah.
he was our city guy, right?
Right.
And you talk about that, and I laugh. I sit here and I laugh. I say, I guess they do that everywhere, huh? I
You
hope they
know,
would support their guy, But
I got family in Brockton.
oh, Brockton, yeah,
Yeah. I've
that's
been
where
there.
Marvelous Hagler, the
Yeah.
marvelous one,
I'll
used
tell
to.
you a little story. In 2006, right after, so the Boston Red Sox won the World Series in 2004, right? And
Mhm,
then the Chicago White Sox won the World Series in 2005. So in
mm.
2006, I went to go visit my sister out there. She lived in Brockton.
Oh
I was
yeah,
probably like 2006. I was probably like 26 years old or something like
yeah.
that. And so I went out there and I went to a bar out there, and I was at a bar. There's a bunch of like Irish people, and it was me sitting by these two Irish dudes, and they were
Yeah.
looking at me through the mirror. You know, I'm like the only Hispanic motherfucker there. And so one of the guys goes to the other guy. He says, "You know, everything was better before the Spicks and the niggers came." And then
Oh
the other
man.
guy that was sitting next to me looked at me and he was like, "Hey man, don't worry about this guy. Sorry about that. I apologize for him." To me. And then he started buying me drinks. But for a little split second there, I thought I was gonna have to kill these motherfuckers, man. For a split second. I'm like, oh
Hey,
shit, okay.
did you just recognize what you just said? Right. Whenever they said the words, it triggered you. Had
Well,
it
no,
been right? No,
it didn't
no.
make me mad. It made me like, oh shit, I'm in fucking Brockton,
Aware?
Oh, it
Massachusetts
made
with
you
some
aware of
white
the
people.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It made you aware. Yeah, you thought that you might have to protect yourself from them because they're
exactly.
the ignorant ones. But
Yeah.
it still triggered you. That's a trigger.
Okay,
And
yeah, for
I
sure.
don't mean by trigger like a reaction.
Yeah.
It just now you heard something and you quickly said, "This isn't good."
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's what I mean by definition. Had they let these kids just keep continuously playing the word, it would have had no sting.
Hmm.
You know, it wouldn't have meant anything. As long as you keep the word and its meaning irrelevant, they're playing like on a tightrope act. You can say it, who can't say it, type shit.
Yeah.
So your girlfriend and you can be having a great time out, you and your girlfriend, and everybody's Latina or black. There's like 10 people out on the patio having drinks. And all of a sudden this black dude comes in with his white girlfriend. And there's a sister over here that sees him and goes, another brother with another white chick type shit, right?
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden, half hour later, a couple drinks in, the white girl lets the N word fly.
Oh
What do you,
shit.
what do you think? How's the night gonna go now? Right? So
Yeah.
like it
Oh shit.
yo, listen, I've been in these situations, trust me.
Ugh.
And it's like, I just think that in my time when I was a kid, when I was 13, 14 years old, and we had the MC Hammer pants on, you know what I mean? We had like the big MC Hammer pants on. And yeah, we
Were the
was
were the parachutes pants?
I was rocking them.
No way,
Listen,
no way, no way! You was doing break it down.
hey, listen, bro. Listen,
Oh man, with the
uh,
boombox? Oh no!
yo, I was in
Yo,
like
we
Flynn.
didn't dress like that in Chicago. You know what we wore? We wore dress pants with all stars.
Right, right. Chuck Taylor's.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we all drew, we just different, you know,
Dago
uh
tees and shit.
yeah, see, because Chicago is their code is different than our code.
Way
Their code
different. Yeah.
is fucking ridiculous, like ridiculous code. Like in Boston, our code is that it'll have you fucked up, dressed up, wearing. You'll be outside with your bomber winter jacket and shorts with a fucking, a basketball fucking bandana like this with some Timberland boots. You know what
Oh
I mean?
shit.
You'll be all fucked up. You don't know what to wear
Hey,
dress.
when
You
I took the
know.
Amtrak to Boston from Chicago, I had my leather, because Chicago everybody wears a leather coat. So
Hmm.
I had my leather. I had Timberlands. We wear Timbos over there
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And I had my baggy jeans. This was 2006. But man, I thought Chicago was cold. Boston was fucking cold, colder than
Oh,
Chicago.
no, no, no.
I
If
was
you, Puppy, if you
damn.
go to fucking like in Boston where
Yeah,
the fucking ocean is, you're gonna
yeah.
get cold because it's good. The cold's coming off there. You gotta go inward Boston where it's not that cold. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when I went to
Hey, you
Boston,
got
I took the Greyhound bus. I took the Greyhound.
Oh,
So I
you
don't
took
know.
the
So the Greyhound station,
right.
that's in Boston, Boston, right? Like Boston downtown.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could take the Greyhound anywhere, but if you went like, let's say, if you tell me, did you go down to South Station, Boston?
I think
Like, did you?
so.
South End, North End. You got Jamaica Plain. You there's just what the fuck
When I
am I thinking?
flew in, I went to a place called Braintree. This was
Brain
recently.
oh Braintree. Oh yeah, yeah, no, that's Boston. That's right
This
on the
was recently.
outskirt.
Yeah, I went to visit my sister. So the first time I did it was in 2006, but then I went back in 2022.
Yeah.
2022, and I went to Plymouth Rock.
Oh
Hey
yeah.
man, that was a nice little sightseeing where like you could kind of you could kind of overlook to see when the conquistadors or whoever they were coming in to
Yeah.
that area and the Indian. There's a big old Indian guy. I forgot his name. The
Yo,
name of
listen.
the Indian dude statue. It was
Yeah, yeah,
nice
yeah.
though, man.
I've seen all that shit. I've been around
Yeah.
here. Yeah,
So
I've been
me
around.
being from Chicago, we don't get to see like monument shit like that.
Okay,
We're
okay,
used to the
okay. You bring
you
that
know.
up. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, yo, my man. What's up, brother? Thank you for coming on the show. We'll get to you right now. Let me just say, yo, that's a good observation, bro.
Uh-huh.
Because when I went out to Vegas and I met Ness and on the Boxing Voice,
Mhm.
Ness picks me up, right? We're driving around and he asks me, he's like, "You're a little quiet, right?" And I said, yeah. And he says, why? And we're talking and shit. And I was like, because the weirdest thing happened to me. I said, I go to my hotel room, I open up the curtains, I look outside, and I saw the biggest fucking mountain and canyons. I've never
Mm.
seen that shit in my life. It freaked me out. I looked at it and I was like, what the? And then I started looking around and they were surrounded by canyons. And the first thought in my fucked up head, this is what scared me the most.
That's gonna kill you or something.
No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no. How many mobsters are dead in that canyon, and how many of them, if
exactly.
I lived here, would have I put in there? Because it's just easy. It would have been convenient. Like
Yeah.
shit, that's where they are, right? And like when I went to Florida, and I'm in Florida, I was young. I remember I was in my 20s, and
Hmm.
I went into some dude's backyard. We were in Jacksonville, Florida, and the guy says, come in the back. We're gonna feed my dog. Fucking he had a small gator. And then
Mm.
that's when it hit me. All the stories about Florida and gators, it really clicked. And I was like, wait a minute. They live out. He says, yeah. I says, what's stopping people from and just putting you in a gator pit?
I'll
I
put
was
you in
like,
the
I'm
gator
out of
pit.
here.
Yeah.
I saw the canyons, the gator, and look, look, when you said that,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
we're born in different areas.
Yeah.
I'm from concrete jungles. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I'm from streets. Like I don't see canyons. I don't see
Right.
gators.
Mountains.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't see that shit. Now I might have walked over a dead body or two, and in my streets, and a lot of my mans was gunned down and shit or whatever. But that's my home. I'm used to that. I'm not used to that shit. And when
And
I saw it, it freaked
Chicago,
me out.
Chicago ran and controlled Las Vegas for
Yeah,
decades, from the 60s, actually from
I
the
don't know
50s,
nothing about
60s,
Hey,
that shit.
70s, and 80s.
hey,
I don't
Al
know
Capone
nothing.
from Chicago. Al Capone.
Al Capone was born in New York, and then he came to Chicago
Oh,
because he
In
got
the in
sliced up
in
in New York and came
in
over to
the
Chicago
prohibition when
in
the liquor
1919.
in the
Yeah,
yeah, he's
and
yeah,
but no, but like Chicago ran. So Chicago, like New York, got the New York Mafia. Chicago is called the Chicago Outfit.
yeah.
So the Chicago Outfit, they ran Vegas for long. After Bugsy Siegel, they say that the Chicago Outfit took out Bugsy Siegel and just took
Uh,
over. But yeah, man, it's
that's,
dope over here. Everything's gangster ass shit over here.
yo, nah,
It's an
but
open
them
city.
canyons,
Everything.
I was out. I was like, yeah, man, nah, no, because they were bigger than what I like. I was like, I never thought that I would
That's
look at a
crazy.
fucking mountain and get impressed. What
Yeah,
the fuck is a pile of dirt gonna impress? Like I can drive in the highway, you see them and mountains.
yeah, yeah,
No, no, that's not what I saw.
yeah.
That's not what I saw. The little fucking huge mountains when you're driving in the highway
Uh
where
huh.
you're going from one city to another city is a pebble to the fucking sides of the canyon I was looking at. And I
Oh
mean a
shit.
pebble.
And what's the canyon? Just a big piece of rock.
It was just a brown piece, and all you saw, it was just a brown piece of huge rocks, and then
Yeah.
all it had was all these holes in it, like caves.
Oh shit.
It was just like it was freak. Look, I've never seen anything so ginormous. As a matter of fact, by my human eye standard, like there's nothing bigger than what that canyon looked like. Like there's no
How many
Empire
feet?
State Buildings.
How many feet are those canyons?
You could put, I would believe, at least 50
200.
Empire State Buildings on top of each other, or
What?
some
I
like
gotta
and
look that up.
So more than
like I
100
don't.
feet?
As a matter of fact, check this out. How about this? I was so freaked out, I
Yeah.
videotaped it. What? I
Oh
didn't
shit.
videotape it. I
You were
actually
high
have
too,
it.
right? You were smoking?
No, I was
Nah.
sober.
Nah, really? Damn.
That Ness came to pick me up to get me high. I was 24 hours sober.
You ain't grab no drink on the plane?
Nothing.
Damn.
And listen, you got to see it for your own eyes to experience. I'm trying
I
to tell
feel you.
you, I never seen something that big in my life. Bro, I come from New York
What
City
she
where the
said.
fucking project buildings are 125 stories, where there's almost 10,000 people in one building. You can live in that building for 25 years and not know the person in the adjacent building. There's so much people there. I come from concrete jungles, bro. Listen, it's not like I'm not impressed. I got the Statue of Liberty. I've seen these huge monuments. I've been all over the world. Bro, I've never seen nothing like this. It was, I was looking at it. I was like, get the fuck, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I was like, I asked Ness, I said, Ness, how long would it take you to drive in a straight line to reach sand? He said, you could drive in any direction for 45 minutes. You're gonna hit sand and canyons. I was like, what? I I I I was like, so police crime rate, they find how many bodies? Here, like, how many unsolved murders do you have here? Right? Like, I'm like, if I fuck around and get gunned down in the streets of Boston, at least they're gonna find my body. Not here in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna
You're
get
gonna
buried.
end up in one of them canyons. Yo, it just the I was just like looking at it, I was like I was impressed by its size, but I was just, it wasn't something I knew that I was used to it. It kind of shocked me. It really did. I was just like, and maybe it's just because of the horrors I seen in my life or I experienced. And now that I go to places, I'm like, oh my God, this place is a fuck. I hope I don't turn into one of those old guys that starts to fear everything. Right?
Hey,
Right?
Ramon,
Like
how old are you?
me?
Yeah, you don't
I,
mind me
I,
asking.
I'm 50 years old.
Oh shit, Unc.
Yeah. Now I'm an OG baby.
For
Like, you know what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah,
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 but like, yeah, it was just like when you talked about it, that thing, and I
yeah.
was like, I don't think Ness understood me. Because when you're out there living in Vegas, it probably
Mm-hmm.
doesn't impress you. You know, you see it
Yeah,
every day. Oh, it's just the fucking canyons. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But I've never seen anything like that. Watch, let me
yeah.
show you.
Yeah, when I went
Uh
to Florida, looking at them gators everywhere,
oh no, that's
I was
fucking
like, I
crazy,
was
right?
impressed. I was kind of scared. Like, what the fuck? You gotta watch. You gotta watch out for like animal life killing you and shit. Like,
I don't know about you guys, but the first time I ever seen a gator in real life, I didn't think gator. I thought dinosaur. What the fuck are we walking around for?
they're not as big as they're not. They're small. I thought they would be bigger. Crocodiles are
No, you
huge
got
compared to
you.
gators.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but you
go
gotta,
more,
but
go
you gotta go
inward
to
to the swamp.
Gatorland.
Yeah,
Go
Okay,
to
go inward.
Gatorland. Go to
Yeah,
Gatorland.
all right.
where's that at?
Diablo. I don't know. I gotta look at it, man. I gotta. Is it in Kissimmee? I don't know, but I seen this
You know what? I
big
was
old
in Kissimmee. I was in Kissimmee.
Got it.
I was in
albino.
Kissimmee, and I went to. I took my daughter to Disney World and shit, and
Uh huh.
then we went to some safari thing. There were some gators and
All
some
right.
cages.
This is me panicking in my hotel room, looking at the fucking violence going, I get how
Were you on the
many
strip? You were on the strip.
no, I'm in my whole yeah.
Frontline said bullshit. Gators are big as fuck.
Yo, peep it, right? This is me. I'm just gonna play the play and try to like fucking
And
see if
gators
you
can
guys
run
can get it
fast.
right.
I heard like 30,
Okay,
40
Gatorland is
miles.
in Gatorland is in Orlando. Yeah, my
Oh,
fault. My
okay.
fault. It's been a while. It's been shit
Never
years.
get fuck.
Show your thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to put it up on the
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna like download it to the fucking thing and then put it up there. I'd rather do that.
I
Um,
think I think you got a new guest. Raul.
yeah, I do.
You
Uh,
guys got alleys in Boston?
of course,
Oh, okay.
we come from the Jack the Ripper. All right.
Jack
The
the
Ripper
Ripper.
Jack man. Hey, you know what? You guys ever heard of you know who the first serial killer was?
Whitey Bulger.
Nah, man. Oh well him, yeah.
Yo,
First
that
serial
motherfucker. Let me
killer.
tell you something. Let me tell you something, right?
Yeah.
I'm from Boston. I never got into that life as the mafia part too deep. I was a little young during Whitey Bulgers. I was like in my 19, 20 years, like that. Uh Whitey Bulger, I gotta honestly say, right, he was the real deal. When you said his name down there, like there was a point in time where like that man was killing people in broad daylight. Like it was real. Like, and we he was kind of like revered like a superstar in some people's eyes, and a lot of other families wished him dead. Whitey Bulger did a lot of fucking shit in Boston, man, and I mean a lot. And then they made this movie and they try to make him look like this informant or snitch or some shit like that.
Is that the
Uh,
one with um
Mike
damn
Black
man?
Wahlberg, Mark
Black
Wahlberg.
Mass, Black Mass,
Is that
and
yeah,
it,
Black Mass? Is that the one?
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. I mean, there were a lot of stories
I
told.
forgot I forgot the actor's name, the famous actor
Mm,
Leonardo
who
DiCaprio
played
was in one of them too.
yeah, yeah,
uh
that,
Jack
yeah.
Nicholson played
Pi-
him. Johnny
Pirates of the
Depp played him.
Caribbean.
Right, right.
Johnny
And
Depp.
they had
Mhm.
a
Johnny
studded
Depp.
cast. They had a studded cast, and at the end, they had like a rat running on a fucking railing, like really trying to discredit Whitey Bulger's name, like who he was. Whitey Bulger never was no informant and nothing like that. And I'm not like speaking up for the dude, like if I liked him or knew him or anything. It was just the truth. They
So he
never
didn't work
had
for the feds. He didn't work for the feds.
Nah, they never came up with they were always like, okay, well then who did he tell on? Like
Didn't he
what
tell on the Italians?
nothing, none of them. Not
No.
one, nope, nothing. And what they wanted to do was discredit him because he was kind of going down like as a block um Robin Hood type shit. He was going down as
Mm.
a block legend. They didn't
Hmm.
want the legend of Whitey Bulger to like live on and some other young dude. They wanted him to look like a rat at the end.
Gotcha. Oh,
So they
okay.
wanted
Good.
to like destroy the man he actually was. But I'm telling you right now, in real life, there was nobody walking up on that dude. And I
I get
mean
you.
no one. He would shoot you in broad daylight in the head, bro, from the stories that I were told that I
Yeah.
never met him, nothing, but I've been around in the game for a long time and I met some serious dudes. We've been in the end of the night, you know how it is, like end of the night in the strip club when it's closed. That's when our party starts. When at 2 o'clock, when everybody the strip club closes, we come in the back end with the owner. That's when our party starts. So that's when we're in the back with the real goons and on a lot of those late nights, I've heard dudes talk about them, and some these are serious dudes,
Hmm.
and I'm just sitting there, I'm just like boom, boom, right, and I guess I probably was a serious dude myself too, and I've heard the stories, and I believe what they said. These dudes don't gotta impress nobody. And they're like, that fucker pulled it off in the city. He did X, Y, and Z. He was revered, feared for X, Y, and Z, and so forth. And uh that's one of the things. Like when you're a gangster and shit, like there's no real good ending for you. They try to discredit his name and the way he died in real life. He was like what, fucking 86 years old or some crazy shit like that. And some fucking dude in the prison like smashed his face in. They went in
Yeah.
his cell. Yeah, that's how he
Poked
died.
his eyes out.
Yeah, they fucking ripped his tongue and his eyes out.
Yeah.
They stomped and the guards pretended like they were reading the newspaper. And you live by like a gangster, live by the gun, die by the gun, live by
Yeah.
violence, die by violence. He did violent things and he died in a violent way, you know. So
Since we're talking kind of about movies, you guys ever seen that movie Casino?
uh
No.
I
Casino.
Casino, yeah, I seen it of course, but
Yeah, that's about Chicago. That's
yeah,
about the Chicago taking over Vegas.
yeah, 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 that's right. That was a true story type shit
That's a
movie.
true
But
story, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
Hell
like
yeah.
you gotta figure out what was real and what wasn't, right? Like
You know,
for
yeah, go
instance,
ahead.
right? Check it out. I'm not sure if you guys ever seen the movie with LL Cool J, right? Into Deep.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm glad you saw it. Because it's gonna help me. Uh I knew those guys. I knew the guys from New York that named themselves God, that came out to Boston, that bought the nightclub and was with Interville and all of them. It was Big H, Arab, Supreme. I knew them. I knew all of them. And when God came out from New York and took over that nightclub in Boston, they made the movie about it. How the infiltrator, they had like an FBI agent. He went out and did things with them, shot people, fuck bitches, sniff coke, and the movie was called In Too Deep. And the movie said was he set up God, LL Cool J, at the end of the movie. He set him up, right? And at the end of the movie, he had uh he had like street credit in Boston. Like people knew him as fucking whatever name they gave him, and he had respect, and he had already left his wife as a cop and everything. And at the end of the movie, they show him walking off into the sunset. The movie ends. Well, reality is a little bit different. And the truth was, uh, there was a few parts in the movie that were true and fiction. That shit where they cut that dude up, put him on the table, and put the pool stick in his ass, that's true. They cut that dude up. The way it happened, what it happened over, is a little bit off. As far as the detective in the movie, he's dead. He hung himself in a hotel room a few nights before the trial in real life. There was no happy ending walking off into the sunset. And I know all of this because I knew these guys personally. I, you know what I mean? I know what actually happened. They went and made a movie, little star cast, had LL Cool J in it. Hollywood put their own twist to it, type shit. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Hmm.
it's not. I mean, that's why when I see movies that say based on a true story, my experience with that movie and the true reality, like, also they arrested like 42 fucking people under God. That dude that the movie was made out of. And in the movie, they had it like four players. They made it seem like it was four dudes did all of this and built like just four friends coming up. No, they arrested like 40 fucking something people. And they gave Big Age Supreme like 20. They gave Supreme 26 years in Massachusetts. The day he finishes the 26 years, he has to start 24 years in the feds.
Then they
So
let him out of jail, or is he still in jail?
Supreme's still in
Yeah,
jail, bro.
he
Nah,
is.
he's
Okay.
nah, he like I said, he had to do 26 years in Massachusetts. The day he finishes that, he starts his new 24-year sentence for the feds.
So
So
50 something
he
years.
yeah, he ain't get and then God, the actor that LL Cool J played, he got 490 something years.
Damn.
Yeah, they gave him like months in New York too. Cuz in New York City they sentence you on months. 22 months, 36 months, shit
Mm-hmm.
like that. In Boston, they sentence you by years. They give you a 10 to 15, a 10 to 18, a 25 to life, shit like that. They give you numbers.
So
Yeah.
is it more harsh in Boston?
Huh?
Is the system more harsher in Boston?
Well, when they were sentenced, it was easier. It was easier because if they gave you, let's say, 18 to 25 years prison sentence back then, right? You only had to do a one third. That means you were eligible for parole in like 4 years, right? Now is the truth in sentence law. Whatever number they give you in the first of your sentence, you got to do that number first. So if your sentence is 10 to 18, you got to do 10 first before you see parole.
Hmm.
Now, and that's how it is in Massachusetts now. With the truth in sentence that kicked in like, I don't know, 18 years ago, some shit like that, 20 years ago, that shit kicked in. and maybe longer. Um, damn, I'm fucking old. But
Chicago's a little bit different. They don't give you like 10 to 14. They give you 14 or 10, and you got to do all of it. It used to be
wow,
you do 50%. Now
right.
it's 80.
While they're adapting the federal way everywhere across the board, huh?
Well, yeah, man. I
Motherfucker.
mean, they're trying to make people, hey, don't do the crime, don't do the fucking time.
No, they. You see that's not technically true because you can go in a convenience store with a gun and rob the convenience store for $130. They'll give you 18 to 25 or 18 years or 20 years. But you can go on Wall Street and embezzle $7 million from 100,000 people, and they give you a fucking 3-year sentence and a fucking FBI fucking resort.
Yeah, but the difference is the person went into with an armed gun, armed robbery, aggravated armed robbery.
Yeah, they could
It's
dress it up
different.
to you. They
It's
could dress
different.
it up to you and try to say the level of dangerousness is why he got 18 years.
Yeah.
They could dress it up to you and convince you on that theory. But that $7 million that he took from them people, how many people committed suicide?
I don't know. I mean, you're looking at it a little like in depth, but
Okay, he
um,
hurt a
yeah,
lot of lives. How many marriages were broken?
yeah.
Honey,
No, but
you mean
they're
to
trying to
tell
take
me
guns off the street.
you mean to tell me
You know,
you put up our life savings on this Ponzi scheme?
you know, like in Chicago, if you get caught, if you give up some pistols or a gun, they'll let you go.
You
You
want to
know what I
know
mean?
something? They do that in Philadelphia. They do that in New York. They do that in New Jersey. They do that in Boston. They do that in fucking Pennsylvania. They they do that in Florida. They that gun exchange thing. They've been
Hmm.
doing that in Worcester, in my city. The first time I ever seen that was like 28 years ago when they came around and had kids. The gang members gave the kids the guns to turn it in for the money. That's that's when it started in my neighborhood, like almost 30 years ago. They did that.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just like,
What happened? Why you laughing, brother?
Because no, it's just a comment. And this comment
Oh,
says, ¿de qué habla estos pendejos, pinche marihuana?
what's that mean? I don't speak Spanish. What's that mean?
he means
Oh,
we talking crazy shit. Like, how the
Oh yeah,
yeah,
hell
yeah.
did we get on this topic
and he
on a
called he
cussing
called he
channel?
called Edwin a pothead.
Hey,
Oh
what's up? He
yeah?
been smoking, but he be smoking on TBV. But
No, I'm
hey man, you
smoking
be
right
coughing up a
now.
lung and shit, man.
I'm smoking right
Them
now.
old man
Shit.
lugs.
Yeah.
And
I
he
don't
said in
smoke no
Spanish.
more, man. I stopped
Listen,
smoking for the last year.
listen. Let me tell you something right now. My wife is a part like she's like one of the head people at a dispensary, one of the biggest ones in Massachusetts. She brings weed home all day, and my
Oh, that's
job is
cool.
to test it and tell the results. How am I gonna look at my wife and tell her I'm gonna let her down? Like, you know, what kind of husband would I be? You
Right,
know,
you got to be
so
the guinea
I,
pig.
I take the responsibility on toking this weed and writing on the charts the effect of it, whether it's grassy, grainy, does it blow white smoke, dark smoke, and I check the boxes. I do my due diligence. Okay. You know
Oh
what I'm
my
saying? My
god.
small contribution to the world. Okay. So, and then I get up and I talk about boxing. So, but anyway, listen, it's been great that you guys got on, man. I love that you guys came on and we talk boxing. I'm about to wrap this up. Yo, Chicago, you're always welcome to come here.
Sure.
Come through, talk boxing, but do me a favor.
Yeah.
Just change that picture, that profile picture, because you look
Why?
like you're on Tinder looking to pick something up right now. You know what I'm
Wait,
saying?
what?
Just switch that shit up. Look, you got
Okay.
no shirt on. You got the beer and the hair flowing. All right. You look like you trying to like bag something on Tinder. Yo, just throw on a picture of boxing gloves and you're gonna come on a
I
fucking
got you. I got you. For
right.
sure. For
All
sure. Yeah,
right, all
yeah.
right. But listen, Carlo, listen, you've been amazing.
Hey man, I
Thank
try. I try.
yeah. Listen, guys, thank you for stopping by, making the night interesting. There's always more to talk than just boxing. There's also
Yeah.
life. And sometimes
Yeah.
as men, we can have a place where we can also decompress on some of the situations. That's also, and I love the conversation. So thank you guys for stopping by and giving me another great episode. I had an amazing time. If you all haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. If you like the video and the contents, give the videos a like. And like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. You've been amazing, guys. Have a good
All
night.
right.